If I could trust the world, if I could shake the world, if I could turn back time, would you still be?
Hi, I'm Maude. This is Maybel, Marcanna and Hazel. Thank you for joining us. We had some interesting things to talk about. I'm going to start with a poem, and then I'll talk about what we're going to talk about. It's called Helping One to Help Yourself. We're always there for one another as we build each other's dreams. Repairing each other's confidence restores our self-esteem. In order to create great change, one must love oneself, and trust that if they must divide, they'll unite when one needs help. Now, last time we were talking about the cosmic rule of four: discovery, realization, inspiration, and creation. We're talking about how the sacred feminine comes first, the sacred masculine. The woman inspires the man. It is a sacred feminine rulership because we were in the wrong thing with the male rulership. It's the female rulership, the goddess. Because this is what J. Parker's father was terrified of. And we are the goddess. And we are going to expose everything we can do, and we're going to talk about what things are and are not. This is interesting because we were talking about this with a friend of ours who is a fellow truth warrior, and we recommended some sites for him to look at, and he enjoyed them. And we were talking about how how men are taught to fear or not acknowledge their feminine side. And this the subject of homophobia, fear of self, fear of feminine, self-homophobia, birth of the psychopath new man. Repression of the sacred feminine in males creates rogue psychopathy. Males trained to believe that they are immune to emotion and that compassion is shameful. Males are blinded to the fact that they do have fear under the illusion of psychopathy, which is an animalistic mindset that is all based in fear. A manifestation of feminine suppression to the alpha male. Alpha male does not exist, and it is a false belief. There is only an alpha female and then an omega male. Sacred feminine non-aggression principle and the self-defense principle. The man defends the woman. Sacred feminine rulership, wise as serpents, gentle as doves. Here's another thing we learned about why astrology has been demonized and their attempt to scare us away from our many selves. The Most High alone, the great intelligence itself, had an idea to share knowledge with equal beings. In order to do that, it had to divide itself to multiply, giving the gift of free will to each fragment of itself. Upper star system formations, free will creators of life for good advancement of knowledge. Lower dimensional star system formation of free will begins to beings who choose to create, and that's the lower dimensional ones, choose to create just to destroy for self-pleasure and play God, to immoral creations and cruel experiments, creating beings for self-pleasure, then abandon them to fend for themselves under the rulership of their self-created hybrids. This is what we're talking about about what Matthias and Joanna were talking about just before. Those beings that seek wickedness and want to hold us back, but they have failed, and we have risen above them. Cosmic judgment. The Most High's natural selection of free will beings, intelligent beings who choose right action over wrong action, out of love, truth, and free will, shall inherit life and progress. Intelligent beings who choose wrong action over right action will either be recycled into energy to return to beings who chose love, or be relocated, re-educated on lower dimensions of the true Most High, if the true Most High suspects that they have a potential to change their ways through self-realization and true understanding. Okay. Okay, here is something we wrote about post-tribulation. This is what they're trying their best to pull some crap to get people to keep in the subservient and the fear-based consciousness. And we are encouraging people to get out of that. Don't be afraid. You are more than just your outer self. You are a multidimensional being. And if something does happen to you, you'll go back to your other self. And you will return again. You can. It will happen. It's your choice. And Earth's choice. Earth is a sentient being. And she will protect you. I have a quote here. I'm trying to find it. Okay, nope. If you love the earth, she will love you back, and she will defend you from any attack. Okay, here's an article about post-tribulation. The wicked will no longer be able to access heaven when it comes to earth. Their attempt to block out our higher order of thinking has failed. For those that were and are still conned into following orders, we hope that we can continue to help them abandon slave think and reclaim their higher selves. Independent thought must be achieved on a mass scale and aligned with natural law to block out the opposer and dismantle the regime. Revelation is a fight in the mind. Attacks on humanity versus changes and lies mixed with truth, either on purpose or accidental interpretation, which is, we also mentioned that is from the catastrophic timeline that we're no longer on. The Most High knows who did what intentionally. Judgment will be delivered. Spiritual war of the higher self affects the physically manifested mind. But the war has ended and we can pass on to the seventh dimension. Our higher selves can manifest. In the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimension, right now in the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimensional phases, depending on where one has progressed, one can make contact and find their true self and purpose, as well as receive guidance from those archangels passing from the sixth to the seventh dimension. As more individuals put aside fear of change and the unknown, they will help bring forth the quantum shift. As fear subsides on a mass scale, the opposers and their leaders will lose energy and regress into non-existence, and their energy life essence will be returned to those whom it was stolen from. They have failed to defeat us because they have rejected love and harnessed our children and future selves. No, they have rejected love and harmed our children and future selves. We are all one, so if someone is going to purposely cause destruction and fear, they cancel themselves out naturally. We shall discover the power of the heart and mind to create great wonders and manifest loving kindness throughout the earth and all beings of the cosmos. 2017 will birth our new earth. Let's embrace her as she begins to transform with our quantum energy shift. We shall go through changes along with Earth Mother. But greatness is coming, so do not be afraid. This is a time of hope and excitement. Let the children lead the way. Here's some poems. I'll read these poems now. It's Truth and Love to the Rescue. Soon they shall overcome the error of their ways, as all darkness disappears and is replaced by brighter days. When the truth has freed the mind from all chaos and corruption, love shall free the earth from all fear of death and destruction. This one's called True Elders. Man has become his own creation because he chose to evolve himself, helping his new physical form on earth fulfill what his elder once left. True elders want to leave a legacy to help bring forth the quantum shift of union and love. And here's an encouraging article from in5e.com called Fasten Your Seatbelts, Transformation is Happening. Transformation is in the stars, but not before an impending collapse of our global system of money, government, education, and religion. There are several upcoming and current astrological alignments which will bring a new age of consciousness to humanity, but not before collapsing what is already in place. If you're one of those people who completely disregard astrology, then please keep in mind that astrology shows us how the cycles of time always repeat themselves, while specific alignments always bring about specific changes. Those in power rely on master astrologers for virtually all of their decisions. By knowing this, it gives us an idea of what they're planning and when they may try to accomplish their objectives. It revolves around the cycles of planning. It revolves around the cycles of time and the energies that are associated with those particular cycles. For example, Pluto is in Capricorn until 2023. The last time this rare alignment occurred was 1776, the year of the American Revolution. Look around. What's going on? Revolution in many countries. In 2010, there was a rare alignment that hadn't occurred since the 1960s, during the Summer of Love. I knew about this alignment in 2008 and told my daughter to expect to see a lot of people wearing tie-dye in the next few years. And right on schedule, people were wearing tie-dye without knowing why. As I mentioned into the Love Revolution will not be televised article, we are going to need to take a step backwards before we take a huge step forwards. What we are going to be seeing is a literal implosion of government, education, money, and religion culminating in the year 2023. And it's already begun. Saturn is in Scorpio until September of 2015. In astrology, Scorpio owns the house of death and rebirth. It's quite possible that the U.S. will be the last to know about it, as the Federal Reserve will try to maintain their illusion of control for as long as possible. This particular alignment presents the opportunity for people to eliminate their ego, as well as for a transformation of consciousness. This will bring about the greatest amount of polarity between positive and negative. In other words, as bad as things